Welcome back to the Most News in the Morning. Now, you've probably seen video of Senator Claire McCaskill's town hall meetings. She faced an angry crowd at a healthcare town hall that she held outside of St. Louis. Well, something happened in the crowd there that has a lot of people talking as well. A woman well known in local politics was able to get a poster inside of the meeting. They had said that signs and posters were going to be banned, not by Senator McCaskill, but by the facility itself. So here's the video of what happened next. It's making the rounds on YouTube.
Actually going ahead and contracting with you again as a provider. So I'm doing a hearing in September. I hope you guys watch it and pay attention to it on the databases. The government has 1 million databases. They don't talk to each other. And we do a pretty good job, I think, of protecting people's privacy, but we don't do a very good job of communicating with each other. So we catch a crook over here, and this is over here. Hey, hey, hey! Okay, ma'am? Okay.
All right, so you saw what happened there. A woman was sitting there. She had a rolled up poster on the chair in front of her. She says that a local reporter wanted to see what the poster was, and that's when the man ripped it out of her hand. Now, he was arrested and held on suspicion of misdemeanor assault. And the woman who had the sign, it was a picture of Rosa Parks, actually, was also removed. Her name is Maxine Johnson, and she joins us live with her side of the story this morning. Maxine, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, so we saw what happened. Give us some context. So what was going on at that meeting, and what happened when things took a turn there?
We walked in the door. I was on the highway for about an hour. First time in Hillsborough, Missouri. We walked in the side door. We didn't see any signs posted. And the security guard said, go have your purse checked. And we had the posters open in front of our bodies. And then we passed 2 other security officers. They checked our purses, and they saw the posters open wide on our bodies, and they told us going into the gymnasium. We walked down the middle aisle to sit down on the floor, and then all of a sudden the crowd started yelling and say, hey, put up your signs, put up your posters, put up your signs. And I was just curious because I knew it was a Rosa Parks sign. The highway we just got off was called Rosa Parks, and I couldn't understand the connection between the Rosa Parks sign and the hearing. It was no relation. And finally, I gestured to the senator and said, yes, ma'am, Senator, we will comply. And I sat down in my seat, rolled the sign up, and a reporter asked to take a picture. And the gentleman to my right in the bleachers suddenly leaped from the bleachers, ran to me, and it happened so quickly. My daughter said, he twisted my arm, pushed me onto her, snatched the sign out my hand, and then as he walked away, I realized that he was crumbling up my sign. And before I knew it, I leaped out of my seat to go retrieve my sign, and I snatched it from him and said, don't you take my sign. And before I knew it, I had 4 or 5 officers on me and 1 on him, and I said, wait a minute, he took my sign. And then 4 other officers began to drag me away, and I began to say, I'm going to press charge, and I began to say, Obama, Obama. We went to the meeting purposely to support the voice of the people in our neighborhood, which is predominantly all black and some Caucasian, to make sure those people would get health coverage, because many of them do not have it. We went to support Senator McCaskill and to support President Obama. We were there to support them. And I have never experienced anything like this in my entire life. I was insulted that the fact that they were all on me, and this young man was just basically walked out the door, and they were dragging me out the door. Like
now, let me just stop you there, because as we understand it, this man was arrested, and he was actually charged with misdemeanor assault in this situation. We spent all morning trying to contact him, and we have not been able to. But you said that you thought there was a racial element to this. Explain that.
Well, no, they looked at me and said, can't you read, can't you read? As we looked around the room, there were several people in the room that had other signs. There was a person that had a sign that said, nigger Obama. Obama's like Hitler. And you know, my point is, if there were signs that were not allowed, why did the officers allow us in the room? And then we complied. And there were other people with signs. They were not black. There was about 3,000 people, 30 African Americans. And then I asked another, I said, what was the problem? It was Rosa Parks, a historical figure. Why was it such a threat? And the woman said, ma'am, it wasn't Rosa Parks. You were the threat. You was a black woman. And then as the police officer took our report, they said, ma'am, we cannot guarantee your protection. You must leave this town. We cannot protect you. You don't know these people. They're nasty. It was clearly racial.
Well, let me let you listen to something a little bit later after that happened last night. Senator McCaskill was on with Anderson Cooper, and he asked her that same question as well. Did she think there was a racial element to what went down at her town hall? So let's listen to what she said.
I'm not sure that it would be accurate to make that about race. The disagreement yesterday was more because somebody broke the rules and brought in a sign when nobody else was allowed to bring in a sign.
So what is your reaction to what the senator said?
When I heard that, I could not believe it, because if you go to youtube.com and you go to the reference of this town hall meeting, in the very back there was a gentleman with a yellow sign that says, "Don't tread on me." He said, "I have my right to exercise the First Amendment." The policeman approached him, then they walked away. And you know, it was clearly black, because if I was white with a sign, and it was either black against Obama because he's a black president, or black because of who I am. You know, we were clearly the minority. If I was a white person, this would not have happened. In respect to Senator Claire McCaskill, she's not black. She doesn't know the struggle that black people go. When I go in my neighborhood with a sign, they don't attack me.
And I also want to make sure that we have time to get to the actual issue of health care reform as well, because you said it was very important for you to be at this meeting. You do community organizing. You say you see so many people that don't have health insurance. Your personal situation is that you do have health insurance, right? Your husband's worked for nearly 2 decades for a company. You guys have good private insurance. But why did you feel so strongly that you wanted to come out in favor of health care reform and the president's proposals?
You know, as fighting for eminent domain, as getting involved with the neighborhood, I knock on doors, and I figure that if I'm going to represent Concerned Citizen Restoration Neighborhood Community Group, then any situation that takes place in that community, I am to be their voice. I asked my board member to go with me, and she said, "Why are we going to this meeting?" I said, "Because we're here for the people. There are people here who do not have insurance. We need to go let them know we're supporting this reform. Any reform is better to zero. If you have no insurance, anything is better than nothing." I was able to go to the emergency room yesterday to have my arm checked out. I can go to any emergency room. I don't have to call anybody and say, "Can I have permission to go here or there?" Right. I just walk in the door and get service with my 6 children, my husband. Well, everyone doesn't have that. And I'm not selfish. It's not about me. If I could be a voice to save somebody from suffering and going through, then I'm going to do that. Right. Even though I have a degree in psychology, that's no biggie.
And Maxine, I want to ask you, but why has it gotten so ugly? What is your opinion about why these town hall meetings have, in many cases, turned into shouting matches, have turned into scuffles? What is it about this issue that has made people so angry?
You know what? As I watched the video coverage on the TV and the internet, I really think that people are still upset that we have an African-American president. Because there was one lady that came out to testify with me, a Caucasian lady. She said, "I'm so afraid. When I drove up here with my Obama sign, people bum rushed my car and say, 'You Obama lover, you Obama lover.'" And she had to sit in the police car to make her reports, crying vehemently because she was afraid. You know, this is America. We should have the freedom to voice our opinion. If I walk into a town hall meeting with a Rosa Parks sign, a historical person, no one should be allowed to jump out the bleachers, jump on me, and attack me, because I have a sign of a historical character.
All right, and
we still have some issues in America, and that's clearly obvious.
All right, and this man was arrested, though, for what happened, for misdemeanor assault. So we'll keep on that. Maxine, it was great to have you on, though, and have you give your opinion about what went down. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks,
John.